Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has been an emotional roller coaster of a journey. For years, people have been hyped up going into various Nintendo Directs as well as separate Smash presentations, hoping their character of choice makes it into the game. Many obviously leave disappointed, and today we had the last of the Smash Ultimate presentations hosted by the man Sakurai himself, where the final Smash Ultimate DLC fighter was revealed. Let's actually start real quick with the final Mii fighter costumes that will be coming to the game. There will be some more Splatoon representation. We're going to get headpieces to make your Mii an Octoling, as well as a Judd hat. And then for me, the gut punch, ChiGuy or Doom Slayer is coming into Smash as a Mii fighter costume. If you follow my channel or my Twitter, you know ChiGuy is who I was pulling for to be the actual final DLC fighter in Smash, so it was clear at this point that wasn't going to happen. At least he's getting some love. I've been saying that the Doom franchise has been incredibly supportive of the Switch. Just about every Doom game ever made, from the original Doom to Doom Eternal, the newest game that just recently came out, are all playable on the Nintendo Switch on the actual hardware, which is a point we're going to get into a little bit later. ChiGuy, of course, also is just such a badass character. If you remember back when we were waiting for the recent Doom and Animal Crossing releases, we had all these memes and mashups of ChiGuy and Isabelle. Would have been cool to kind of see that come into reality, but again, you can't always get what you want. Which brings us to the big reveal. This trailer, to start, I thought was incredibly awesome. I've watched it multiple times already. You've got the ominous burning Smash logo that we've been familiar with since day one when this game was first teased. All the characters are lined up looking at it. We see they're in their sort of frozen state. The logo burns out with a single flame dropping to the ground. Mario picks it up, throws that son of a bitch, and it's revealed to be the Keyblade that opens a giant keyhole, bringing Sora from Kingdom Hearts into Smash as the final DLC fighter. After that, everyone starts to awaken. It feels like a nice ending to this whole, again, journey the game has been on. Sora is one of those fighters that has been extremely heavily requested for a long time. You've got the whole Sora for Smash hashtag on social media. Sakurai himself even referenced the old fighter ballot in this presentation, where people could submit who they wanted to see join Smash in the future, and mentioned that Sora was at the tippy top. So you can't argue people didn't want this. The numbers don't lie, as Scott Steiner would say. I do get the argument, of course, that this is yet another anime sword fighter. I mean, even just in the DLC, we've had, Hero, Byleth, Sephiroth, Pyra and Mithra, and now Sora. That's a lot of interesting hairstyles running around swinging swords. And sure, I myself would have preferred something more unique. Again, I was pulling for ChiGuy, but I find it hard to be disappointed in Sora's inclusion. I don't know how you could really hate on this. Like I said, heavily requested fighter. It's one people had doubts about if or how he'd make it in because of, the Disney tie-in, which there is definitely some issues there that I'm going to get into. Not to mention Smash's whole deal is that it's this big collaboration, and Kingdom Hearts is considered to be one of gaming's other big collaborative efforts, bringing together Square Enix and Disney IPs. So this is almost like a merging of mega collaborations. And it seems like they're sort of nodding to that. In the trailer, you have this shot of Mario and Sora shaking hands that kind of reminds me of that shot of Ryu and Cyclops in Marvel vs. Capcom. Again, this big meeting of mega brands. But in that way, I will say, I think it does fall a bit flat. As a fighter, Sora, I think, looks great. I don't want to get too much into the gameplay specifics. His aerial prowess, strong recovery in that. Looks like he's definitely going to be a strong fighter, but the actual moves themselves, the animations are right out of the games. It's great seeing the spells and actions complete with Sora being, fire! His alt costumes are going to run the gamut from, different Kingdom Hearts games. I think they all look great. but there's definitely something missing. It's quite clear there wasn't much leeway in including actual Disney IPs. I think many expected this would likely be the case, but that doesn't make it feel like less of a letdown. Like the stage, for instance, still looks great. Don't get me wrong. I don't want people to think I'm trying to be a hater here, but I believe ideally we would have wanted to see something similar, like one of these moving stages with transitions, but have it actually go through the different Disney worlds featured in Kingdom Hearts. Go to Aladdin and then transition to Nightmare Before Christmas, Frozen, etc., and just pack them full of characters. Again, you can have Aladdin riding by on the magic carpet. That, I think, would have been the dream for this inclusion. Similarly, even Sora's final smash, I feel like, you would have wanted that to include Goofy and Donald somehow. So that I do think is disappointing, even if it was inevitable. And surely it's all on Disney. Like, I'm sure if the Smash team and Sakurai were allowed to do all that stuff, it would have been done. And I do get the Disney perspective as well. Like, they probably wouldn't want Elsa to be on screen at, say, the same time as Bayonetta in an officially licensed game. Nevertheless, still disappointing to not see it. But as this big final fighter for what has been an insane lineup for Smash Bros. Ultimate, they flashed some of the final tallies for the game at the end of this presentation. Just the amount of characters, stages, and everything. This is a behemoth, a monster of a game. And Sora, I do feel, was a phenomenal cherry on top of this enormous sundae. So even though, while this wasn't a character that, was high on my list, I'm glad to see it make it in, and I think it makes a lot of sense, and it's going to make many people very happy. Sure, would we have liked to see, again, myself, Doom Guy, Waluigi, I know had a lot of people pulling for him, Master Chief, the list goes on, but at the end of the day, everyone can't make it in. And at the same time, I'll say this could have been another random out of left field pick, another Fire Emblem rep, right? Even if you're not a fan of Kingdom Hearts, even if you're not a fan of Sora, still, this could have been way, way worse. But that wasn't it for announcements during this presentation. And while I don't have much negative to say about this fighter announcement, don't worry, because there was still something for me to bitch about, as Sakurai also announced that the Kingdom Hearts games are coming to the Switch via cloud gaming. Are you serious? Right now. That's all I could think. I could excuse Kingdom Hearts 3 if they either didn't even want to bring it over or just do that one as a cloud game. I still wouldn't like it, but it wouldn't enrage me. But for all of the other games, making them cloud only, it's laughable. I call companies out all the time, Game Freak with Pokemon, about laziness in this industry. We have hit a new peak here because we're talking about PS2 games, PSP games, 3DS games. Okay, even if you want to say, oh, well, they're remastered versions, those remasters were on PS3, for Christ's sake. You're telling me you can't port some PS3 remasters to the Switch? Is that really what we're going to do? That's going to be the argument? Like I said about Doom Guy, his games, his current games, Doom 2016, even Doom Eternal, are fully playable on the Switch via the hardware. No cloud computing needed. And you're telling me I got to go through the cloud to play Dream Drop Distance? I mean, part of me still sitting here like, is this really a joke? I said on Twitter, I have never been so hyped, then immediately disappointed in an announcement. It was one line right after the other. All of the Kingdom Hearts games are coming to Nintendo Switch. You can play them all through 3 via the cloud. Oh, God. Disgusting. I have absolutely no interest in playing these games in this way. Being restricted to playing them in a stable, high-speed internet connection environment, which these cloud games have proved in the past that sometimes even that isn't enough to make these games playable. Especially when these collections are dirt cheap nowadays. You can get like the complete collection. I think I've seen it for as low as like even $20 for like everything on PS4 and Xbox One. And I mean, who knows how much they're even going to charge for this? It looks like they're selling them as 3 separate purchases, like one with 1.5 and 2.5 combined, one with 2.8, and another with 3, at least according to what Nintendo put out on Twitter. Like, watch 3 still be a full $60 by itself. Just feels like a really sour way to end things. I know they must have thought they were giving us a big extra treat of an announcement, but I think this presentation would have honestly been better if they just didn't include this. Put it in the last Nintendo Direct during the sizzle reel or something and just been like, Kingdom Hearts Cloud versions. I mean, it still would have completely sucked, but at least as a little blurb, it wouldn't have been, like a big depressing note on what otherwise was a great presentation. But sticking with, Smash and Sora's inclusion, I don't want to be too negative here. To reiterate, I think it's not just a strong addition, but a strong closeout. I think that's a distinction here. Like, not just as a DLC fighter for Smash Bros., but as the final Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC fighter, I think this was a strong choice. In terms of Sora, would I have liked to see them incorporate more of the Disney elements? Of course. Do I know Disney prevented them from doing so? Certainly. But this is something tons of players have wanted for a long time. It's not going to please everyone. Literally no DLC character announcement has. I'd say the closest one to doing so was probably Banjo-Kazooie. I don't remember seeing any hate for that, but whenever people don't get the character they want, they're going to be disappointed, they're going to complain about it, which is fine. And yeah, this game has been on quite the journey. I don't know how anything will ever top the level of hype around these DLC announcements. Like, think about it, DLC for this game generates the level of hype that, you'd see for full AAA games. It's insane. I've personally never seen anything like it before. Even in a future Smash game, I don't know if they could top this without, similarly starting, with every character from this game in it. Like how Smash Ultimate started with all the past characters because, that opened the doorway. As we had DLC, it was like, okay, every character that we've had so far is already in the game, so all these characters are going to be new. So I think for a future Smash game, if you wanted the announcements to be as hype, you'd have to start with all these characters already included, which I'm sure would be an insane undertaking. This is going to go down as one of the most popular fighting games of all time, and now that we have the full roster, the full contents, it's certainly deserving. It's gone beyond deserving that ultimate title. Anyway, with that, this video's a wrap. Let me know your thoughts on the final Smash Fighter reveal for Smash Bros. Ultimate in the comments. Are you hyped for Sora? And what do you think about that laughable Kingdom Hearts Cloud Collection? As always, I'm the Shy Guy, Johnny Zakari, and thanks for watching.